being able to play New Mexico State and getting this team on the road. And I know New Mexico State's always a traditionally good team. And was that a good chance for your team to play a quality opponent, a quality gym?
It really was. I was really impressed, first of all, how well we traveled, because that's a tough trip. To bus up to Spokane and fly through Phoenix, go to El Paso, jump on another bus, and get to Las Cruces and everything. And then right after the game, we had to jump on the bus again, go back to El Paso, and make that trip on the way back. The guys handled themselves extremely well. Practices were good. Our walkthroughs were good. And I thought they did a pretty good job in the game once they settled down. When I saw the game on the schedule, I knew it was going to be a tough opponent. They don't lose a lot of games down there. Just the opportunity to go down there and play, though, was good for us. I wish I could play them again. Hopefully we'll get them in the championship game of Vegas, and hopefully we'll be at full strength with Isaiah back with us as well, too. We needed a little bit more, what I would call a little bit more toughness, a little bit more athleticism in the game to offset some of the things they did to us. But all in all, it was a really good trip. And it really gave us a focus in terms of what we need to do to work on some things as well, too. And that's what the preseason is all about.
What happens in the course of a game to where a team only has 4 assists and 19 turnovers? How does that pan out?
Well, they did a really good job of what I would call sitting on you. And they literally face guard your shooters, and they take away your three-point shot, and they put you into a one-on-one game, which ends up not having a lot of assists. You play a lot of one-on-one basketball. That's what they did on the offensive end of the floor. On the defensive end of the floor, they controlled tempo just by taking taking time off the shot clock, things like that. So it shortens down the possessions in the game. We could have did a little bit better job defensively, definitely a much better job rebounding, which would give you an opportunity to get out and run. And then I didn't think we were as effective as we have been with our defense. We could have done a much better job just in terms of our own pressure that could create a tempo in our favor as well, too. So those are some adjustments we would make before we play them again. And they certainly are athletic enough of a team and deep enough of a team to play you that way.
In terms of the high turnover figure, the missed free throws, then having to play from another early deficit again, this is a young team. Do you think those areas will gradually improve during road games as the season progresses?
In some of our games, we've been fine starting the game. You would expect, again, for a team that plays in an environment that is not comparable to what we saw there. That crowd really roared up on you on the defensive end of the floor. They were very well educated because of all their success. I think they've lost 9 games down there since 2012. That's a pretty good record sitting in an arena. And just the fact that we got behind and fought back into the game, and at the 9-minute mark had a chance to take the lead, missed 2 free throws, and then 3 other times down the stretch, the last one somewhere in the 3-minute mark, the game was tied. That's pretty good for this young team to do that. And all you need, and even when that game was tied, there were 2 last-second 3-pointers by them as the shot clock was going down that they hit because their defense was so good, where you had a chance again to put a lot of pressure on them if they don't score those buckets. So all in all, for being so many new guys, they played pretty good in the game. We did some good things, but yet we got to improve in some other areas.
Jure had a nice game down there. You've mentioned earlier that it's important to have 2 point guards heading into Pac-12 play, but are you looking for one of them to separate himself a little bit?
Gervais, has had an opportunity to gain some confidence in this game, and that's what he needs. Particularly, again, when you talk about those new guys, they need to continue to play and develop. Jazz is another guy that we need to play more and let him develop in that. Marvin Connor is really starting to come on because he's getting an opportunity to play a little bit more. But in terms of the point guard position, I need both of them. There's just no way, with how hard we play, how fast we play, all the different defenses we play, that one guy is going to handle 40 minutes a game. I would be more comfortable if they're somewhere in splitting those minutes, because now I can keep the pressure on you. I can keep the tempo of the game if we can get to that point, although on any given night, one of them might play 30 minutes because of how they're playing. So right now, A2, we call him A2. Ahmed is our point guard, and we'll go that direction with him. He's done a pretty good job for us so far.
I expected CJ to be able to come in and contribute, but do you think he's even a little bit more ahead of schedule than you figured he would be, just the last couple of games kind of being the second scorer to Robo there?
I think he's one of those typical hidden gems that sit over in Seattle. You can just look at the history of Washington basketball, the state. You see all those guys that have come out and played for Lorenzo at UW that have gone on and had great careers. He's one of those players. He's special. He has what I call that it factor, and that he understands the game. He has a toughness. He has a tremendous feel for the game. He plays defense. He plays offense. He is a freshman. He will hit the wall. I'm going to tell everybody that right now. but so far he's been terrific. Did I expect him to be this good? When him and Porter were battling neck and neck for Player of the Year in the state, and Porter wins it. I think in the last couple of weeks, he's at SC right now. I knew he was going to be a good player because he fits who we are in terms of our style of play. I feel like he fits who we are in terms of the college community over here and this environment over here, our mentoring, our system. He is just starting to blossom, and it's really neat to see him accept coaching the way he has.
And then you've got the Battle of the Palouse tomorrow night. There's a lot of local interest in this rivalry game. Just what is the significance of that annual matchup to you?
You know, a lot of people shy away from games like this, particularly BCS schools that are playing games like this. I think it's important to play the game just because of the history of the rivalry that's there. I don't know if we'll continue to play forever, but it's an opportunity right now to play and get ready. They've beaten us 3 out of the last 4 times, so it's a big significance for us from that perspective. But it's a good rival game to have. It's good for the people, I think, that have grown up in this area and gone to the 2 schools or just lived in the 2 communities. A chance just to come together and fellowship a little bit and have a great basketball game.
I know you hold a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Verlin, as does this community. What has your relationship been like with him since you moved out here to Pullman?
You know, he's one of those coaches that throughout the years you've seen on the road quite a bit. Well, we both have been doing this for a long time. And yet you've never had an opportunity to really spend a lot of time with them because every time we're on the road is usually during the recruiting period and you're busy running from gym to gym to see kids play. When I went up and did his auction a few years back and really had an opportunity to sit down with him, he is a good man. And they do a good job over there and run a first-class program. So I will respect any coach, number one, because it's so difficult to coach and be at it so long. But more importantly, people who do it the right way, I have a lot of respect for them.
You say it's a game that might not happen forever. As long as you're the coach here, is it a priority to play this game every year? Could you see it dropping off when you're here too?
You know, it's a priority for me to be here to do it. No different than when we looked at, when I first came, I thought it was great that we had Gonzaga to be a priority right up the road to play too, and that schedule was dropped and everything else. So I think from year to year or every couple of years, we look at a contract and everything else. But for right now, I think it's a good game to have on our schedule.
Why do you think his teams always are able to play you guys? So it's been different teams every year. You guys are a different team, but he always seems to be able to prepare for you guys and kind of give you guys a different kind of matchup every year.
I think prepare is the key word there. I think the fact that they can sit on top of us and see so many games that we play over here. They know personnel. I think before I got here, the 2 teams even practiced together, and I shouldn't say practice, but had those open gyms together where they would play together during the summer before I got here. So there's a lot of knowledge that's there, and I think he's an excellent coach that really prepares. So to have that mentality to come in and you're playing a BCS school, that energy that was in that building down at UTEP from those players to get a BCS school on their court was tremendous, and they play at a different level. It's no different in this rivalry as well, too. So we've got to make sure our energy is where it needs to be.
Are you guys still holding the open gyms where you guys are kind of doing scrimmages with them, or is that kind of phased out?
That is phased out because of the NCAA allowing us more time to work with our own players now during the summer. So it's more important for us to be with our own guys, to put in a system and do things like that, particularly when you have a lot of new guys like we had with your program this year, to get them acclimated to who we are as coaches and acclimated to our college community as well.
With the game against Montana State and the Tri-Cities on Sunday, just seeing that the team has dropped its first 2 road games, are you almost looking at this matchup now as a chance for the group to learn how to win away from Beasley Coliseum since it's a home game away from home?
You know, I didn't think Seattle was too much of a road game just because, again, there were a lot of Cougs over there, and we were without Robo in that game. We're without Isaiah in our last game. What I'm looking for is to take a healthy team on the road, because your strength is with this team is in our numbers. To be able to get through the game tomorrow and then come out of that healthy and go to the Tri-Cities, I feel very confident with my team and I have all my pieces intact because these guys have done a tremendous job. We have a lot of flexibility with our personnel. We can do a lot of different things to put pressure on you when we're at full strength.
Don obviously lost a pretty big batch of seniors that won a lot of games for them that you guys have seen plenty of. How are they different this year? Are they playing a different style with different personnel and different key players?
I don't think his style has changed in the last 6 or 7 years, and certainly not since I've been here. They're very well coached. They play very hard. They run their offense extremely well. They've got a couple really good shooters, which they seem to have every year, and they're tough-minded kids that are going to battle you. So they're very similar, and we need to make sure again that our preparation is where it needs to be as well.
What do you think it could do for the area in general if both of these programs were really kind of NCAA tournament contenders at the same time and create more excitement around basketball and fill up both gyms? And I think it would do a lot for the Blues.
You know, I think theirs is an environment, obviously with the bigger population over there, an opportunity to get more local people to come in and see them play. When school shuts down here, it's very difficult for us to do that. Hence why we're going to the Tri-Cities. We're going to go up to Spokane and play. We're almost better at times being on the road because of the energy that it takes to play competition at this level. It's so important. So as we continue to build our program, build that fan base, I think they have a pretty good fan base already. I think it would be very important if both of us could have the type of energies in our arenas, to have success, have people coming out, have teams that are in position to go to NCAA tournament. I think it would generate a lot of excitement.
Any questions from the phone?
Sure, Coach Kent. Just kind of tagging off of what Theo said about the series against Idaho. You mentioned contracts, looking at it on a year-to-year basis. It just seems, are you actively trying to get back into talks with Gonzaga? It just seems like it would be very beneficial for WSU as a program and as a brand builder. I mean, have you had any talks with Coach Hugh?
I've had no talks at all. It is not a decision on my end because I would be more than happy to play them anytime, regardless of where they're ranked, anything else. I think it'd be great for the two schools, but that is a decision that's totally in their control and out of our control, at least out of my control.
And one thing defensively, you guys have shown that you make growth on that end, but the one thing with your 1-3-1, obviously that's where teams are going to want to attack is that corner. What have you said to the team and maybe in film, and do you feel like they're making strides where their rotations are getting better on the perimeter?
Well, I think to not get too technical with you, the adjustments we need to make may come about with athleticism. Once we get Isaiah back, and like I said, Robo and being at full strength and being able to see that, an opponent see that and how long and length we are. It's not as effective if you're small on the floor than if you are long and athletic on the floor. That's when it's really effective. So the adjustments that we need to make is just making sure we have our energy and at full strength to play it. And even in the New Mexico State game, if you watch that game, we even unveiled some 2-3 zone as well too. So if you're an opponent, you've got to prepare for a 2-3 zone, a 1-3-1 half-court trapping zone, a man-to-man staying at home zone, a man-to-man switching zone, a man-to-man trapping the post zone, a man-to-man trapping ball screen zones. That's a lot to prepare for, but yet we're good and very flexible and playing very comfortably any one of those defenses when we go up against an opponent.
Hey, Coach, how is Isaiah doing? You have any updates on Wade's status and where he is health-wise?
He has made great strides from where he was initially with this injury, and he will definitely be somebody that is a game-time decision. And I'll know more on that when I can get through practice today with him.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.